That's why they divide, but our ancestors survived worse and still survive. And every generation after us, depending on what we do. So we gon' keep marching till equality rings true. We are not asking for special treatment. We demand an equal opportunity, equal representation, equal respect. Because no amount of coded language, no rewritten history, no political fear tactics will ever erase the brilliance,
the resilience,
or the power
of black people in America.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah.
Get up now.
Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP is your information station.
It's Terrific Thursday! Make it count with Morning with Vernon. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's a beautiful day out there, and let's get you caught up on everything.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah.
Get up now.
Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
All right, everybody. Good morning. Morning with Vernon, y'all. Thursday morning, 6:33 Central Standard Time. Right here in Pensacola, Florida. Good morning, Lois Shuka. How you doing? And Janice, how you doing this morning? Y'all got your coffee this morning? Happy Black History Day, y'all. Lois, don't it smell good, sugar? Alan, good morning to you. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thankful Thursday, y'all. Thankful Thursday. I guess we better go ahead and start our morning off with a prayer. Y'all want to bow your head and pray with Dr. Gaston this morning while you're sipping on your coffee. Don't be cheating now. Don't be, because sometimes he don't give us a prayer. Sometimes he give us a little sermon, but anyhow, Dr. Gaston, go ahead. Let's start our day off, okay? Can you do that?
Hi, this is Shale Katzen of Emmaus Baptist Church, Pensacola, Florida. We come before you this morning to pray on this Thursday morning. As a matter of fact, this our Thursday of Thanksgiving. This is where we come and give the Lord thanksgiving for just being our God. Let us pray. Father God in heaven, we come in the strength of your might and in the might of your strength on this Thursday, dear God, just giving you all the praise, all the thanksgiving, all the glory for the edification of you yourself as our God. And so, Father, we're just sheep of your pasture, and we just cry out to you this morning, just blessing you with all the praise and thanksgiving on this Thursday, dear God. Thursday, the day of Thanksgiving for your people. Lord, this is our sacred prayers. We pray now in the belovedness of Jesus the Christ, our Lord, our Savior. Amen.
Amen. And a lot of good women. But anyhow, good morning, everybody. Good morning. You got Vernon this morning. Thank you, Dr. Gaston. He's always kind of get us started off with a prayer this morning. And everybody that's standing in the need of prayer, you can actually give him a call if you want him to pray with you at 850-698-0571. And If you sometimes you think you need a prayer, just go ahead and give him a shout out. He would love to. He would love to. He would love to pray with you this morning. All right, I come across this, y'all. I thought it's kind of cute, so I want you to see this. There's some of this social media stuff, and if you don't get it from the horse's mouth, stop listening to those asses who told you. Well, ain't that? Don't y'all think that's kind of cute? I thought that was kind of cute this morning because I think it's really appropriate. I can tell you that. I tell you what, today is Thursday, y'all, and we got Robin on today. We got Robin on this morning when at about 7:30 time frame with Robin Rashad. She's our local historian, but we talk about everything and include Black history when she comes on, and she called her homeboy Jerry. These are Kansans, y'all. These are us. I don't know whether y'all, Lois, you tell me, how do y'all pronounce yourself? Are y'all Kansans or are y'all Arkansasians? So I got to get with Miss Mamie so sweet we know what to call you. Arkansasians or Arkansasians. But anyhow, they supposed to join me this morning. Okay, I guess I better see what the weather gonna look like today. With Mrs. Cheryl Moran. Cheryl, what we got looking for weather today, sugar?
Good morning, Vernon. Here's today's weather for Thursday. Thursday stays mostly cloudy with a 50% chance of scattered showers. Highs cool slightly to 90 degrees with lows of 77.
Well, thank you, sugar. Thank you, sugar. I guess we might want to go to our lottery report. You know what? Somebody won the lottery in Brayton, Florida. I don't know exactly where Brayton, Florida is, but I think it's somewhere down in Central Florida at the Wawa gas station. Won $800 million. Okay, $800 million on the Florida lottery. I guess it was the $1 million. We'll look at it when we get to our lottery thing. But we'll look at it. And that was one. And then also a little later on when we talk about the winner as well as some of the winners that actually turned out to be losers this morning. So let's go ahead and give you a second here to pull out those lottery tickets and see, are you the lucky one too? You can be winning just like those individuals. All right, let's go ahead and do some of our lottery report this morning, okay?
Vernon.
What?
It's Thursday Sugar Lotto time. Go get those tickets, darling. No lotto, no me. We gotta win, baby. Love you.
Vernon Sim, it's Thursday. Lotto time again. Did anybody win last night? Let's look and see.
Throwback Thursday to your winning ticket. Before you toss it, check it. Your Florida lottery ticket could still be worth thousands or even millions.
All right, y'all, those are the numbers. So you make checking, you might get lucky. You might get lucky like that. One winner, the winner hadn't come forward yet. They know exactly where it was won at down in Brayton, Florida at a Wawa station. They got I think they got 6 months to come forward, but you better believe they're gonna come forward. You're gonna before the end of the week out, maybe probably before the end of the day out, somebody gonna claim that ticket. They can get a cash prize. You know when I guess this thing about weather. You know they say about the weather. You know it's 90 degrees or 100 degrees, but it feels like 110. Well, it's the same thing. I guess you say you won $800 million, but really you didn't win $800 million. If you get a cash prize there, you get a cash prize. I think the cash prize is like $344 million on the cash prize. Then I'm not sure whether since Florida don't have a state tax, that's a good thing. But you got federal taxes, which is probably about 1/3 of your winnings that you have to take out. So you're down now to another number when you take out your taxes in that. Or you can get it every year. Okay, you can get a lump. You can get a payout every year. If you get a payout every year for the next 20 years, and then you end up getting the full value of your ticket. But nobody wants to trust the government. They don't want to trust them that long. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in that. So, good luck for all the lucky folks. You're just gonna have to believe. Okay, have to believe. All right, let's check in on traffic with my girl, Miss Lola May, this morning. Lola May, how you doing, baby? In high traffic, huh? How you doing?
Good morning to you too, Vernon. I am doing well. Thank you for asking. Are you ready for the traffic report? Here we go.
Yep.
Good morning, Vernon. I'm Lola with WBQP's Traffic Center. Here's your Thursday traffic report. Traffic is moving steadily across the Pensacola metro area this morning with the heaviest commuter volumes expected between 6:30 and 8:30 a.m. On Interstate 10, expect moderate traffic near the Highway 29 interchange, Pine Forest Road, 9 Mile Road, and the I-110 connector. Drivers should allow extra travel time approaching major exits during the morning rush. Let's go over on Highway 29. Moderate delays are possible from Brent through Ensley and north toward Cantonment. Traffic signals and commercial areas remain the primary slowdown points. Now, let's look at Davis Highway. Traffic volume is increasing near Airport Boulevard, University Parkway, and the I-10 interchange. Motorists traveling toward Pensacola International Airport should plan for slower traffic during peak commute times. If you are traveling on 9 Mile Road, traffic remains moderate between Pine Forest Road and University Parkway. Expect occasional congestion near shopping centers and major intersections. Let's peek at downtown Pensacola area traffic. Moderate congestion is expected along Cervantes Street, Palafox Street, Garden Street, and Bayfront Parkway as commuters head into the downtown business district. If you are heading toward the Pensacola Bay Chappie James Bridge, traffic flow between Gulf Breeze and Pensacola remains generally morning commute, but no major delays are anticipated. Roadwork alert. Drivers should remain alert for ongoing roadway improvement projects throughout Escambia County. Watch for construction crews, lane restrictions, and reduced speeds in active work zones. Safety reminder, keep a safe following distance, avoid distracted driving, and check traffic conditions before leaving home. For WBQP TV 12 and WBQP Radio, I'm Lola with WBQP's Traffic Center. Drive safe, arrive alive. Back to you, Vernon.
Back over to you, Vernon. Have a nice day.
It's Terrific Thursday! Make it count with Morning with Vernon.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Janice Womack Ewing. How old are you now?
I thought y'all forgot about that birthday, didn't you, Janet? All right, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You got Vernon this morning. And I just want to wish everybody else a happy birthday this morning. That having a birthday today and this week and this month. In fact, this month is out of here, y'all. This month is out of here. Only got one more day in this month, and that's tomorrow. Janice said that Lois said they just I want to know what they call y'all, Arkansasians or Arkansasians. And Lord said, just plain old country folk, just old country people. As we say, I got a friend of mine, don't call people. They say peoples, just plain old country peoples. That mean from Alabama, from Burnt Corn, Alabama. What part, Lord, what part of Kansas? Well, let me say Arkansas. That's what y'all used to up there. And what part of Arkansas are you actually from? And Jerry told me Jerry and your home peeps, Jerry and Robin, they told me they were from somewhere up in Arkansas. They'll remind me again. And I know a lot of folks from Mississippi from Plum Nelly, I guess. I know Mrs. I know I got a lady up there. She's probably about 94, 95 years old. She actually from a little town right outside of Jackson. I always mess with her, and I said she was from Plum Nelly, because where she comes is Plum Nelly in the woods, and so I just call her, say she's Plum Nelly, Mississippi, and Mrs. Higgins. I call her, no real name Mrs. Higgins, but she got 4 or 5 girls and a couple boys, but I always tease and says that she got 13 girls, okay, and says she's only did it 13 times. So I thought, okay, I got it this morning. All right, y'all. I hope everybody got a happy Thursday this morning. So I want you to make sure that you can kind of keep yourselves motivated this morning and everything. But what I want to do though, I want to kind of play a little bit of hurricane tips for you this morning, because we're actually in the hurricane season, y'all, and I want folks to be prepared, if you will, when it comes time to hurricane. So y'all, you mind it? And I should say foul weather tips, but this is probably true, regardless of what kind of weather you're in. It might be because if you're not affected by tornado, you're affected by a hurricane. So hurricanes sometimes is instant results, and sometimes you don't have that opportunity like the folks in the hurricanes. But prepare for it just in case. This is what I should just name this emergency tips, okay? Just in case of that. Let's go through some of the emergency tips, if you will, okay? All right, here we go.
Here are some WBQP hurricane preparedness tips. Let's be safe than sorry. Please pay attention. Hurricane season runs from June 1st through November 30th, and residents should take steps now to protect their families, homes, and businesses before a storm threatens our area. Before a hurricane, create an emergency plan. Identify evacuation routes. Establish a family communication plan. Designate a meeting place in case family members become separated. Include plans for elderly family members, individuals with disabilities, and pets. Build an emergency supply kit. Your kit should contain enough supplies for at least 72 hours, including bottled water, 1 gallon per person per day, non-perishable food, prescription medications, first aid supplies, flashlights and extra batteries, battery-powered or hand-crank radio, cell phone chargers and power banks, cash in small denominations, personal hygiene items, important documents stored in waterproof containers. Protect important documents. Keep copies of insurance policies, identification cards, birth certificates, property records, medical information. Store them in a waterproof container or digital cloud storage. Prepare your home. Inspect your roof and gutters. Trim trees and remove dead branches. Secure outdoor furniture and decorations. Install storm shutters if available. Review homeowners' insurance coverage. When a hurricane watch is issued, a hurricane watch means hurricane conditions are possible within 48 hours. Review your emergency plan. Refill prescriptions, fuel vehicles, charge electronic devices, monitor local weather reports. Prepare to evacuate if instructed. When a hurricane warning is issued, a hurricane warning means hurricane conditions are expected within 36 hours. Complete storm preparations immediately. Follow evacuation orders from local officials. Stay away from beaches and waterfront areas. Secure all outdoor objects. Move to a safe interior room if remaining at home. During the storm, stay indoors and away from windows. Do not use candles due to fire hazards. Use flashlights instead. Listen to local emergency broadcasts for updates. Avoid using electrical appliances during severe weather. Remain sheltered until officials declare conditions safe. After the storm, avoid floodwaters and downed power lines. Use caution when operating generators. Never use them indoors. Check on neighbors, especially seniors and individuals with special needs. Document property damage for insurance claims. Follow local guidance regarding curfews and recovery efforts. Special considerations. For seniors, keep extra medications on hand. Arrange transportation if evacuation becomes necessary. For pet owners, include pet food, medications, carriers, and vaccination records in emergency kits. Never leave pets behind during evacuations. For businesses, back up important records. Review continuity plans. Ensure employees understand emergency procedures. Emergency contacts. Residents should stay informed through National Hurricane Center, nhc.noaa.gov, Escambia County Emergency Management, Santa Rosa County Emergency Management, local law enforcement and public safety agencies, WBQ TV and WBQP Radio for community updates and emergency information. Final message. Preparation saves lives. The best time to prepare for a hurricane is before a storm is approaching. By creating a plan, assembling emergency supplies, and staying informed, families can reduce risks and recover more quickly after severe weather events. Stay alert, stay prepared, stay safe.
All righty, y'all. You don't say you hadn't heard it here, so prepare yourselves just in case it's safe to be sorry. Lois. All right, now you gonna bring up another issue. When Jerry come on, find out again. You say you from West Helena or West Helena? Now which is it? Is it Helena or Helena? I know it's less in Lexa over there. But anyway, yeah, over there in West Hale. They call it West Hale over there by any chance? I probably they didn't. Okay, but Helena, Arkansas, we know you got a lot of history up there in Black history we talk about during the Red Summer, but I guess we can all relate to that in the United States as being Black, y'all. All right, I'm gonna take a quick commercial break, y'all. But when we come back, I want to talk about some news that's going on around the area there, okay? What I call news that I could use or news that you can use. I'm going to talk about some local news, talk about some regional news, and news that specifically affect us African Americans, and what I call Black news. Black news you can use from stories you may and you may not have heard about, but they're going to be just going to be headlines, and these are headlines that we are going to be going over, and hopefully we'll be able to get some Black history in today when I start talking to Robin and Jerry this morning. Jerry never been busy with the political season and everything, and so hopefully that we'll be able to speak to them about certain things if he's going to be available this morning. But I tell you what, I'll be right back after these important messages, y'all. Stay tuned. Y'all tell everybody how to find us while we're on the commercial break. Just tell everybody and get your coffee. Get your coffee. And let me finish. Mine's about finished, y'all. But I'm going to finish it during the commercial break, y'all. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP is your information station.
It's Terrific Thursday!
Make it count with Morning with Vernon.
Good morning to my Facebook friends, Lois Bless Pruitt, Janice Womack Ewing, Alan Young, Jeannie Costin, and everybody else this morning. Let's get to work. WBQP goals are to inform, to inspire, to educate, and to entertain. The station that cares.
I'm Dr. Isaac Williams, and I'm running for School Board District 3. Our community is asking for change, and I agree. District 3 deserves change. District 3 deserves a representative who will listen, communicate, and stay connected to the community. Our students need every opportunity to succeed. Our teachers need support, and our community and parents need a voice. I've spent my time as a servant leader in the Marine Corps, as a pastor, as a community activist, and I'm prepared now to serve District 3 on day one. And I will be honored to earn your support and your vote on August 18th. God bless you. God keep you.
WBQP TV has officially declared 2026 as African American History Year. Teach Black history every day.
Choosing the right school is one of the most important decisions you'll make for your child. At Jacqueline Harris Preparatory Academy, we provide a safe, supportive environment where students grow academically and personally. Through strong core instruction and unique programs, students build confidence, creativity, and real-world skills. Enroll your child today and join us as Jacqueline Harris Preparatory Academy celebrates 25 years of serving the Pensacola community.
Hello, I'm Colonel Eric W. Shorter, and I'm running for mayor. As a true son of Pensacola and a product of multiple generations of public servants in this city, I know what it means to serve. The spirit of servitude led me to serve our country, the world, and now I'm here to serve Pensacola. My goals are simple. I want to create vertical economic initiatives, which translates to good-paying jobs. Affordability. I want to address the housing affordability crisis. Neighborhood revitalization. Something as simple as the addition of a sidewalk, a street light, or a park renovation goes a long ways with improving Pensacola residents' quality of life. Education reformation. I want to ensure that our children and young adults are prepared to meet today's demanding job market. Citywide opportunity is possible, and I'm not guessing. I'm positive. Vote for me, the positive choice.
I'm Robert Bender, your Escambia County Supervisor of Elections. The August election is underway, and this ballot includes elected positions and issues that affect every citizen in Escambia County. Election day is August 18th, and you have 3 convenient ways to vote. You can request a vote by mail ballot and return it by mail or at any early voting site, vote early August 8th through 15th, or you can vote at your assigned polling place on Election day. As we celebrate the 250th anniversary of our nation, your vote matters more than ever.
Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home has been in business since 1913. Hi, I'm David Hawkins, the owner of Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, saying we are a full-service funeral home. We offer pre-need funeral planning. We have a newly remodeled chapel and conference facility. Stop by and see us today. We have 9 vehicles, all waiting to service you. At Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, we appreciate your stopping by. On behalf of all of our family here at Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, thank you so much for allowing our family to serve you.
Since 1951, we've been here for our local community, creating pathways to care. We meet you where you are, with trusted doctors in convenient locations throughout the area. Baptist Healthcare, here for you then, now, and always.
Reign in the new year with a dazzling smile. Dr. Paul and the team at Marcus E. Paul DMD Gentle Family and Cosmetic Dentistry offer expert and comfortable dental care. From tooth replacement to addressing various needs, their friendly staff is ready to assist. Visit their office or call for the care you deserve. Achieve a beautiful smile with Marcus E. Paul DMD Gentle Family and Cosmetic.
For 75 years, Baptist has brought innovative care to our community. Through our Andrews Institute, we continue the legacy by providing advanced total joint care, restoring mobility, strength, and quality of life. Baptist Healthcare, here for you then, now, and always.
Sonia Bay's Botanicals is a local wellness boutique that specializes in infused fruit juices, medicinal herbal tea remedies, clean hair and body care, and herbal infused sea moss gels, which can be purchased 1 for $25 or 2 for $40. This sea moss contains 92 of the body's 102 essential minerals used to increase energy, relieve pain and inflammation, and improve blood pressure and more. From parasite cleanse to detox and weight loss to blood sugar control, Sonia Bay's Botanicals has a natural solution for you.
Check and double check your voting status. Get out and vote.
Hello, I'm David Williams, District 3 Representative, seeking re-election to the Escambia County School Board. 4 years ago, I said, together we can make a difference. Today, I'm proud to say, together we have made a difference, thanks to your trust. And because of you, we do not have any failing schools. Our schools are safer, we've closed the achievement gap, and our students are college and career ready. I'm asking for your support again to re-elect me so that we continue the work that we started 4 years ago. Please visit my website at davidwilliams3.com to learn more about my initiatives I have accomplished and the ones I will pursue over the next 4 years. Early voting is August 8th through the 15th, and the primary is August 18th. Your vote is essential to keeping our community moving forward. Thank you.
Need a new outfit for a special occasion? Look no further than Viola's Men's Apparel. Viola's has been providing the latest styles and accessories in Pensacola for over 20 years now. We have clothes for every occasion, and we offer consultations and group discounts. You can trust that our care, quality, and class will be unmatched. Viola's Men's Apparel for all of your menswear needs.
Why wait? With Penn Air's fast approvals and low rates, getting a car loan is easier than ever. Penn Air Credit Union. Join us.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Call State Farm agent Arthur Searcy for your personal price plan today.
As a service to our community, we pause to remember those who have recently passed. Our deepest condolences. And prayers are with each family during this time of loss. Thank you for allowing WBQP to serve our community.
Hi, this is Shale Katzen of Emmaus Baptist Church, Pensacola, Florida. We come before you this morning to pray on this Thursday morning. As a matter of fact, this our Thursday of Thanksgiving. This is where we come and give the Lord thanksgiving for just being our God. Let us pray. Father God in heaven, we come in the strength of your might and in the might of your strength on this Thursday, dear God, just giving you all the praise, all the thanksgiving, all the glory. for the edification of you yourself as our God. And so, Father, we're just sheep of your pasture, and we just cry out to you this morning, just blessing you with all the praise and thanksgiving on this Thursday, dear God. Thursday, the day of thanksgiving for your people. Lord, this is our sacred prayers. We pray now in the belovedness of Jesus the Christ, our Lord, our Savior. Amen.
78. Thursday stays mostly cloudy with a 50% chance of scattered showers. Highs cool slightly to 90 degrees with lows of 77. And we wrap up the week on Friday with cloudy skies and a 50% chance of afternoon showers. Look for a high of 91 degrees and a low of 77. Overall, the first half of the week will be hot and mostly dry, while the second half brings more clouds and better chances for scattered showers. This is Cheryl Mulrain, and that's your weekly weather forecast for WBQP TV.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP is your information station.
All right, everybody, good morning. I see Chris Elliott Williams has joined the fray this morning. Hey, Jeannie. Jeannie knows that Vernon is the one. But good morning, Chris. How are you doing this morning? Chris Williams, y'all. She's an Alabama gal from a little town outside of Evergreen, Alabama called Rab, Alabama. Good morning, sugar. How you doing this morning? I got to tell you something funny, y'all. And I wanted to do it yesterday, but sometimes, my jokes might not go over too good sometimes with some of these MAGA people. But when I was getting we're getting ready for my news headline. That would make me think of it again. And when I got ready to do my news headlines, right? And so I try to type in all of the headlines to create a graphics, for it. And so when this graphic popped up there, which is the headlines, and it says "Dead on Arrival," and it had Trump picture up there. I thought to do the happy dance. Dead on arrival. Woo! That's all I saw was "Dead on Arrival," and his picture was on there. And I was just doing my happy dance. Then when I come down and I read the whole thing, it just said "Dead on Arrival, the Save America Act is dead on arrival in the Senate." I said, damn. But anyhow, I thought that was kind of cute when I saw that. When it said "dead on arrival," that's all I saw. It said big old "dead on arrival." I'm trying to find that graphic for you, but it had Trump picture on it. I just thought that was some good news. But anyhow, I know I hear it from Mr. Porter. You talking about the president like that. That is why you always have those issues on the air. They cut you off in everything. Your town, that's he's doing that. Maybe so, but it's worth it to me. I can tell you that right now. It is worth it to me for having a little inconvenience at his expense. I can tell you that right now. All right, y'all. I guess I need to get into some of the news stories of today. Let's see. Can I find
Community news and events? Check out WBQP TV and radio.
Live from WBQP News Desk, this is your Headlines News Summary with Vernon Watson.
Good morning, Cutie Vernon. It is great to be with you today. What's happening in the news in Pensacola today?
All righty, y'all. Let's talk about what's happening on the local news front here, y'all. This man here, let's talk about the headlines. He's a former assistant principal at the Pensacola High School, y'all. And they caught the old boy some time ago with video cameras and in the girls' bathroom and stuff like that, buoyancy and all that other kinds of stuff. But he's getting his time. He paying his debt to society right about now, y'all. They sentenced him yesterday, I think, to 10 years. I can't remember how many, but they got him on prompt. I can't even. I don't go to PRON, PRON. What you call it? Pornography prompts. I can't pronounce that damn word. But anyhow, but he was sentenced to 14 years in prison as he pled guilty to child pornography and video voyeurism or whatever, how you pronounce that word. 57-year-old man, his name is Sean Roby. He was also placed on 3-year supervised probation when he get released, and he will be designated as a sex offender. I have to register and all that good stuff from hereforth and forevermore. Boy, Janice called him, what you call him, Janice? What that word she used? Widow? Not a widow. What you call him? Freak? No, you don't call him a freak, Janice. Tell me what you call him. Pervert! Yep, that's what she said. All right, y'all. You know, we've been experiencing some heat wave here. I tell you what, y'all, I don't understand this. This stuff about this. They're using the health index now. You know, they says when it's 98 degrees, it feels like it's 110. That's what they say now. So they've tried to trick you into thinking it's hotter than what it is. What it is. Had I known that, I'd have been tricking women all these years. Hey, baby, you on these 3 inches? It's sure gonna feel like 10. You know what I'm talking about, y'all. Let me move on. Oh, Lord. Okay. All right. Okay. 2 men. This is over in Okaloosa County, I believe it is, on Highway 90. 2 men was critically injured. I bet you that Mr. Porter, he doesn't have a sense of. He called me right now, Mr. Porter. You know I'm on the air. He doesn't he doesn't have no sense of humor. No, you should be on the television talking like that. Oh, anyway, but anyhow, he don't let me talk about that goddamn president of y'all. And he every time I say something like that, he cringe. But anyhow, but then my crazy jokes, he don't like that. He's not. He said he never jokes, and I believe it. But that's his sad future. But we do. Okay, but anyhow, this is over in Okaloosa County. Y'all, let me get back to the headlines. But again, as I tell y'all, when y'all read these stories, I can only just give you the headline. I can't get into the meat of it sometime. But you can read it for yourselves or look at it for yourselves on the local news and so forth. Okay. All right, let's move on to another story here. You remember on the 4th of July, we had a mass shooting in Pensacola. Yes, it was classified as a mass shooting. I believe if you got 4 more people shot or injured, it is considered mass shooting. Okay, so they arrested a 16-year-old fella, and they saying that he was supplying the gun to him, but they didn't have the evidence to prove it. So they had to drop all the charges against him. Okay. And they were probably reaching for straws, probably anyway, but they was under the pressure trying to resolve that problem. But they do have 3 other people in custody in response to that. And one of them is kind of sad. This lady, just why would you get yourself in trouble over somebody else's stupidity? She was handed a gun and she hit the gun and so forth. So they got her for accessory after the fact and stuff like that. Run her whole life over some stupid stuff. Walk away. Put your hands up and say, no, I'm not going to get involved. They might get mad at you. So what? If they get mad at you, you're friend. You're not responsible for somebody else's stupidity. But that would happen in this case, at least for her. And then, even sadder about that, this young man, PJ, died as a result of stupidity. Talking it all over gang-related stuff, talking about somebody felt disrespected, or they called diss. They're being dissed, these are teenagers now. And then shooting started, and Another young man, PJ died as a result of what I call friendly fire. His best friend shot him by mistake. It wasn't intentionally. By mistake, shot him and killed him. And and trying to get to the other gang. Then when the facts came out about it, they went to arrest him, and then he committed suicide. In when they attempted to run. So this whole case is just sad. Let me move on. Just move on here. They had a up in Walnut Hill, Florida, y'all, up near Atmore and Century, up in that area. They had a big office grain. They got a big grain facility up there that caught a fire. The warehouse building and damaged some stuff up there in Walnut Hill. So if you're up in that area, you know what I'm talking about. Yesterday, a day before yesterday, it's a big scare for nothing. Black folks, you know, you can't. He went in and he had this guy, little guy, 22-year-old, having a mental health episode. How did somebody determine that they thought that he had a gun in the mall? I don't know, but then the police arrested and everything. But come to find out, he didn't have a gun. He didn't have anything. He might have been talking out of his head, but he's still in jail. They should have backed the acting, if you will. I don't know what's going to happen to him. But he called, as Judge Judy would call a kerfuffle. He called such a kerfuffle there. And they picked him up. They found and picked him up. But again, it's this case, I believe, you're going to find it's going to be a case of mental health issues. But I'm glad they didn't shoot and kill him, because that could have been the case. Also, they arrested a California man yesterday over near the truck stop on cocaine charges. He was transferring some drugs in his 18-wheeler, his semi-truck wheeler there. So read about that when you get time. Let lead to another story. But yes, now, for the folks that's not familiar with Pensacola, but we had a big fiesta parade every year for seafood, the seafood festival and everything. We got to be careful now, because, and not only for this, but anything, they got a lot of fake stuff with AI now. It's hard to tell the truth from the lie. Okay. If this, they got fake applications. This lady, black lady, she was a vendor, and she went online to register and paid $200 or $300 to be online, and come to find out it was a fake website, and she lost her money. So just be careful about that. These people here in the Escambia County, because no school starting on the 12th, which is going to be on the 12th here in Pensacola. They got some promotion. And Shanita, this lady here named Shanita McCann. I know Shanita. I know her very well. And in fact, she's a comrade of mine. We was in the reserve together, and she's a reserve. But anyhow, she got some kind of promotion there as an intro assistant principal at the Bellevue Middle School, and so did Toshiba Shepherd. She's also got a promotion at the Escambia West Side Center there school in Pensacola there. So congratulations to those ladies, if you will. All right, the Jubilee Church, y'all, since school's coming back in. Jubilee, y'all remember those songs? Jubilee, Jubilee. But anyhow, the Jubilee Church down on W Street is going to host a free back to school event. It's going to be on Saturday, this coming Saturday, August the 9th. So they're going to be giving away, back to school stuff, backpacks and school supplies, and even got some used clothing, and they're going to have some food and refreshment and stuff like that. And stuff, and resources and stuff like that you'll probably need for school, okay? Speaking of school, they also named the 2026 Florida Teacher of the Year at the Booker T. Washington High School. Her name is Mrs. Tammy R. Sandlin. Congratulations, Miss Sandlin, as being the 2026 Florida History Teacher of the Year. Okay. Here, Sugar, can you squeeze a little Black history in there too? Since you're going to be the 26th history teacher, make sure your students know a little bit about Black history, if you will. Okay. And now they're talking about, speaking of history, your insane governor wanted to start teaching about communism, which I have no problem about communism, but he pushed him. They want you to learn about communism, but they don't want you to learn nothing about Black history. Go figure that out, okay? Go figure that out. All right, let's move on. And I had a graphic for that, but I'll get to it later because I'm going to be running out of time because I'm going to have Robin come on a little bit. Now, here is in this headlines, newly. This is a little bit about what's happening with the new leadership here at the Salvation Army. We got some new folks on it, and they look like us. That's why I report. They kind of look like us in the mirror there. Y'all remember the case that we reported back about the peel mill? In fact, we had several peel mill cases promoted in here, but this one is up in Pace. The attorneys now is trying to have that case dismissed or thrown out, that having to do with the peel mill case that they up in Flomaton. The owner had filed a motion asking the judge to dismiss this charge in his case. So they arguing that the fact that they don't have they got a lack of evidence in his case. So stay tuned for that story as well. This man here over in Fort Walton Beach was found guilty of a fatally a DUI crash. Now he faces up to 20 years. He hadn't been sentenced yet, as I know it, but he's in real trouble there. Okay. Now this is what I was talking about. The communism classes coming to Florida. You whoopee doopy. We're gonna learn how to. I guess since Trump is in office, since we're gonna probably go do just like Putin, because Putin in China, communist regime. So maybe that's what we want here. Maybe that's what they prepping us right now to get used to communism. They're always thinking about this stuff about socialism gonna lead to communism. So maybe they're getting prepared for it, y'all. So don't we got three systems. We got capitalism, socialism, and communism, and everybody gets to it on. And our system is a capitalistic society, which works well for the rich, but it don't work well for the poor. Socialism works a lot better for people that don't have a lot of resources. Capitalism works well for the rich, because the rich get richer and the poor get poorer in the capitalist society. Socialist society, where they try to share the wealth, and in the communism society is what Trump is trying to do right now. So you can get a taste of that. Okay, let's move on. All right. I was telling you about the Mega Million, that this person won that $800 million down in Brayton, Florida, in the Mega Millions. But be careful. Yesterday I also reported another story about horror stories of people that win in lotteries. This genius here, he had won $167 million. But I guess once a crook is always a crook. Maybe it's in your DNA. I don't know. But he's been arrested for the fourth time, and and because he's a career criminal, and he got $167 million. But yet got arrested on one of his counts. He was arrested for burglarizing $12,000. So y'all go figure. Just go figure. I guess it's in your DNA. And I'm being serious when I'm saying it might be in your DNA, because I did some studies on that, and they had a particular case where a father and a son. The son turned out to was a criminal, but he never knew his father. And come to find out, when he learned about his father, he was doing this very same thing his father was doing. And they didn't know each other. So maybe it is in the DNA. Let's talk about some Black news, y'all. that happening around the country that you may and may not know about. But I want to tell you about it. Son, see, black folks, y'all, did I ever tell y'all about my story about the highway to heaven? The highway to Hawaii. Just don't want to make it real short. The black guy wanted God to go to, he wanted to go ask God to send him to Hawaii, but he was scared to fly. So he asked God, said, God, can you just build me a bridge to Hawaii? And God said, look, now the reason why we don't build, I haven't built you a bridge to Hawaii because it's just too technically problem. It's just too much, It's almost, I'm God. It's almost impossible for me to build that bridge. So don't you want something else? And the guy said, since I can't, that's just too much. The guy said, well, the other thing I think about, can you make black folks get it together? God looks at him for a minute and said, son, how many lanes you want on that bridge to Hawaii? It's much easier to build that bridge to Hawaii than get black folks together. But anyhow, all right. These are stories of the bridge to Hawaii, okay? Yeah, I tell you, son accused of bludgeoning his 61-year-old mother to death with a hammer inside the home. Y'all read about these stories. Y'all just Google these stories. I'm just gonna give you the headlines on it. Florida, and this is good as far as Pensacola family. It should have been under the local news. I don't know how I got it under here, but they got a program now that trying to help people, that new home buyers, and they call the program SHIP or something like that, but they give you money for down payment. You look at that if you were interested in buying a new home. And folks, that's the way to go. If you're going to encourage your kids and grandkids to buy, they got programs to help them with down payments and offset the cost of their thing if they live in the house for a long time. Just remember that story, okay? All right, now back to black news. My heart goes out for the Haitian community and all communities of color, because now they're doing away with the protected status of these folks, that we had all these Haitians that, because of the violence that was in Haiti, President Obama allowed them to come in the country, and they gave them protected status. And they went into communities like in Ohio, remember, doing some good work. And when that goddamn Trump went in there, talking about, they up there, eat the dogs and the cats. How in the hell can we fall for the okie doke? But anyhow, trying to cast doubt on him. But now he's ending that program for the people that had temporary protected status. And now they may have to go back home to that unspeakable violence in Haiti, where there is no law or you can't even fly in the airport is closed down. It's ran by gangs and the whole work. So my heart goes out to these folks that was there, that status is about to expire. Okay, and most of them are people of color. Okay. Oh, let's talk about Tuskegee Institute, y'all. Yeah, it ain't an institute no more. It's a university. And I want to tell you a little bit about the history of black folks and about universities and high schools, right? We used to be called training schools and institutes. White folks didn't think that we would deserve the title. Our schools of educational didn't deserve that title. So that's why they named most of our schools, rather than calling them high schools, they call them training schools, okay? Because when I went to Connecticut County Training School, you too, Chris Williams, you went there, but we did graduate from Marshall High School when after it was changed, but for many years it was a training school. Same thing was on the college level. They didn't want to give the extension of any university, so Tuskegee was a good example. Tuskegee was called the Tuskegee Institute. Now, for a little bit more about the black history, y'all need to read about W.E. Du Bois versus Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington, he was an advocate for vocational education, whereas W.E. Du Bois, which graduated from Harvard University, saying that black folk was a lot better off getting college education and so forth. But that's a whole different story. Y'all need to read that thing. That's what sparked this issue about the universities and training school and so forth like that. And of course, the white folks took Booker T. Washington's side because he more was in line with their thinking than W.E. Du Bois' side. But that's another story in itself. You gotta read about what we call the Atlanta Compromise. Okay. And I'm gonna talk, maybe Jerry and we can talk about it once we get on here. Let me move on to the another story here. That's in that headline there. Oh, come on, Vernon. I talked about the housing costs. I talked about that. The affordable housing is getting worse for America, and particularly Black America. This stuff about AI, y'all need to stay on top of it. But I thank God for AI, because that's the best employee I got for right now. But there's some issues about AI. Robin, I hear you giggling over there. I want to get to you in a minute, sugar. But AI, but I talked about that. Asian community. Again, my bridge to Hawaii. Okay, sisters accused of stealing more than $75,000 in cosmetic out of Ulta stores. Okay, y'all read about that. Okay, read about that. This stuff happening in Black America, y'all. Black America. Here's another one. Terrence Franklin sentenced to life in prison. I had another story that they sentenced this man to prison. I thought it was a local story. They sent him to prison for trying to kill his wife, and his wife was begging them not to send him to prison for, bridge to Hawaii. Okay, bridge to Hawaii. Let's move on to another story. Convicted and sentenced to 100 years in prison, y'all, for this man for I'm not saying he deserved to be punished. This guy is 14 years old, something like that. Okay, he got 100 years in prison. They ain't got his life started, but for other crimes, you're stealing millions of dollars, you can get pardoned for it. Tearing up the government properties and beating officers, you can get pardoned for. But anyway, moving on. This lady, just the story I was telling you, I believe it's this man here, right here. He got convicted for beating his wife, trying to kill his wife. Now I'm saying her is asking the judge for leniency for him. She was shot twice, okay, about to kill him. But let me tell you this, okay, and I say this in tongue in cheek, but I'm serious about this. It's a lot more deeper than that, than this lady asking for this. It's much sadder than that. If you know anything about domestic violence, okay, this is part of the domestic violence issues, and the women that gets involved with domestic violence, they are really in bad situation. You hear this a lot. I know I got a lady that comes on, Carolyn Williams, and we have a show every month on every Thursday of the month. The fourth Thursday of the month, they're coming on at 7:00, and we talk about domestic violence. She was shot in the stomach while she was 8 months pregnant with a shotgun, killed her baby, and she went back to the guy. Wouldn't prosecute the guy, went back to him and the whole 9 yards. But while I'm saying that, don't just put these people down, because there are reasons why they do that. I want you to kind of understand. Don't try to put them down. Understand they're in a really traumatic situation, and but try to help them and lead them to counseling and so forth for professionals to help them, because that's just one of the way it is. Okay, we talked about AI again. I don't want to talk about that again. You know that because this administration folks lost the SNAP benefits. 500,000 people, and a lot of us of color, and a lot of them are not color. A lot of the MAGA folks, they're feeling the pain too. All right, I'm just gonna really quickly just give you some regional and national headlines right here. Trump trying to in the Medicaid subsidies. If you know, Medicaid and Medicare subsidies, okay? You know, the Obama program, it's just going to get a lot worse, y'all, a lot worse, because if you had health insurance, these insurance companies the government was paying the subsidy for all this expensive insurance, so you didn't have to pay it. Now he's trying to end that for for poor folks. It's not about black and white people. It's about the rich versus the poor. I don't care what they tell you, okay? And they're done bamboozled the white poor people thinking it's about black and white. That's that shiny object over there. TSA and ICE, now they're getting in. TSA is getting in with ICE, and if you're going to be traveling to airports, you better look out. It ain't going to be rough for you. All right. Yesterday, with the economy the way it is, and you know, Trump replaced Jerome Powell with the new guy, thinking because he wanted the interest rate to be cut so that we can have some false sense of security in our economic system. But this new guy that he appointed, I wonder what he got to say now. He's still refusing to cut because he knows the economy would tank if he did that. So we'll see what Trump had to say about that. Poor Dr. Fauci yesterday had a bad day, but one thing he did was smart. He testified before Congress, and he took the fifth. Okay, he took the fifth, and the reason he said because he said it's nothing but a trap. Anything I say can and will be used against me, so I'm not going to say anything. So they trying to capture that down. They're trying to get him for obstructing justice. But do you remember when the Republicans went in front of the Democrats? How many Bannon and all those that took the fifth? Oh, it was great then. But when Dr. Fauci's down, now they want to prosecute him for not saying anything. But he got First Amendment rights and the Fifth Amendment rights as well. All righty then. The SAVE Act, y'all don't want to know. I hope that's the one I was talking about was dead on arrival in Congress. When I saw Trump picture on that headline said dead on arrival, because that was something Trump wanted to do. I did a happy dance. Y'all remember when I said that? Okay. Again, that got to do with what Dr. Fauci was talking about. And this man here, this has had to do with these old folks in Congress. We need to get them out of there. Maybe time would help us, because it's just a matter of time. They don't resign. The Grim Reaper will probably help us out. Okay, it's just a matter of time here. We got Chuck Grassley, y'all, 95 years old. What? Come on now, 95 years old. Jesus, don't let me have the Trump derangement syndrome to kick up. This guy here, y'all. This is my last story. And I want to get to Robin this morning. The last story here is with this guy, Sam Altman. He's the guy that's responsible for most of this AI stuff, and he's lawmakers. He's meeting with the lawmakers, and as Trump weighs in, I hope he don't weigh in on that, because everything Trump weighs in on just turns to crap. I can tell you that right now. But anyway, y'all, that's basically some of the headline news that we have this morning. It's 7:30, and you know I have to get to my sugar, Miss Robin. Good morning, sugar. How you doing?
Hold on. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing good. I prayed up.
Oh, did you pray up, or did you get go to Sherman before you came on this morning?
Did I go to what?
Did you a Sherman?
Charmin, Jesus,
Yeah.
Buddha, Mother Teresa, Coretta Scott King, whatever higher power. I'm good.
So you have to,
whatever.
You got to be covered with. And what you're saying is you got to be covered with the blood to come on my show.
As long as love is in the center, you know, I praise my form of my practice is called Christianity, and whatever form you take where love is at the center and you got light around you, I'm good. I'm good. I remember George Frazier used to say. Remember Georgia Blackman used to bring him here, the motivational speaker. He used to.
George. I bought me one time on the base.
Wonderful. Yes.
Sure did.
It's time for mornings with Vernon. Really do like him, and he said he'd always greet his folks. He said, "The God in me greets the God in you."
Yeah.
That was he had two openings. One, he would say, because he was extremely fair skinned. He could do what people in the older days, and I know it still goes on today, African Negro colored would call passing.
Yeah.
And so he would because of his features, he had what would then would have been considered very Eurocentric features. And so he said the first thing he'd get up and go, "Yes, I'm black."
But stop
mumbling the rumors and all of that right now.
Robin, were you one with the Black Naval Aviation Association brought some naval folks in last summer, right? And they have their convention every year, and they brought this black admiral in, Admiral Chambers. Are you familiar with Admiral Chambers?
I am not. I think I moved my computer and my camera may be stuck, but I am not. But I know the name because of what Cliff Curtis mentioned.
Yeah. Now you're talking about passing. Now let me tell you this. Let me tell you this about him. He was the first black man that to command a major aircraft carrier, and he did some things what got many black folks fired. Now, number one, when he was as a man that commanding that carrier, okay, during the days when they were trying to exit Vietnam, okay, and they had this. Well, you heard Cliff tell the story. They had this one. They had this one South Vietnamese pilot and his family, kind of like in a Cessna airplane, and they were trying to escape Saigon because the Viet Cong was coming in, and that little Cessna wasn't going to get very far, but he knew, because he was a pilot for South Vietnam and for the United States, so he knew that aircraft carrier out there. So what he wanted to do was trying to signal so he can land on the carrier, and so Admiral Chambers made a decision that he couldn't land because they had all these. They was trying to transport all of these Army helicopters out of Vietnam. They had a lot of them. They had put them on these aircraft carriers. And in order for this guy to land, they had to push some of these. He made a decision for them to push those Army helicopters on the side, over the side. And so he landed safely. The guy landed safely. Him and his family on that. That would have got a black man fired any day of the week and twice on Sunday, but they did not fire him for that, for pushing those aircraft overboard. Now that was a controversy. Then the other controversy that he was also commanding when Jimmy Carter was trying to get the Iranian. Remember the Iranian thing that we had back in the 80s?
The embassy,
that embassy, and then they were going to do the rescue and all that other kind of stuff, and it came. Well, he was involved with that too. He should have been fired as well, but he ended up being. I said all of that to say, if you looked at the man, okay, you couldn't tell whether he was black or white. And I'm sure, and this is back in the 50s and the 60s. I'm sure and he graduated in 1952 from the Naval Academy. Okay, so that tells me he didn't tell him he was black. They just assumed that he was black, but they just assumed that he was white. And so, but just like you're saying that, like George Frazier, you look at him, you couldn't tell the black and white. And do you remember the movie?
Well, there are a lot. There are a lot. There are a few local, and there are that have embraced the term passing right here in Northwest Florida, and there are
when John Sunday could have passed.
I don't know. He was mixed. His father was white, German, either German, Austrian. His father was white, German or Bavarian. I can't remember. And his mother was from Egypt. So in terms of the pictures that we see, because you know we don't. The only thing we have right now are these black and whites. In terms of the pictures, the answer could have been a strong maybe. And so to look at his brother, the answer could have been yes. And so, but so he advocated, which brings me to my point when you were talking about Du Bois and
Washington, BT,
and Washington. Yeah, W.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. They were on the outside. It looked like they had different paths, but and they did, but they were trying to get to the same place. And so they were just taking two different paths. Both of them firmly believed in African Americans. So hands down, both of them firmly believed in education, hands down. They took, both of them firmly believed in equality, hands down, and they took different paths. In fact, it is said that when Andrew Carnegie donated the I forget how much money, I think it was north of $1 million to Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington wanted to all go towards education because he had done, after the success of Tuskegee, he'd already seen Hampton, the success of Tuskegee and other what we now call HBCUs. He had started these education tours, one of them which came through Pensacola in 1912. And so he was this staunch proponent. Well, Andrew Carnegie and he had been friends, or at least contemporaries, in terms of their national recognition, if not their prestige. And so Andrew Carnegie was said to have, while Booker T. Washington wanted 100% of that to go, Andrew Carnegie said some of that money needs to be set aside for your personal use. It is said that he was very adamant about that. And so one of the stories goes that when W.B. Du Bois would have some challenges, legal or otherwise, that Booker T. Washington was one of the, because he had this additional money, these additional funds, that he would funnel some of that money to Du Bois. They had that same mindset. They just had two different roads to take. And so it's probably like Admiral Chambers, that here you have this, I'll say coping mechanism is probably a better word, but here you have this coping mechanism to say that I am fully qualified, I am fully educated, I am fully determined, I am fully skilled in this, I am ready, and you want to hold this part of my essence back. And so his coping mechanism, I don't know, I'm not in his head, God rest his soul, his coping mechanism was to maybe to remain quiet when others thought that he was doing this just because he was great, that race had nothing to do with it. In fact, because he was white, that he was even better. And so what is that coping mechanism? There was a journalist, a writer, I'm going to butcher his name, Lord have mercy. On his deathbed, he told his children he was Black. And I'll get his name, but it was a big ha-ha. So they would say in his circles, people knew he was passing. But on his, and this is like in the last 20 years, that on his deathbed, he told his children that in fact one of his parents was Black, hence they had never met his grandparents. What is the journalist who's married to the not the SCLC brother, Moriarty, the sister who was on until recently on CBS. She particularly did the CBS morning shows on
Mara?
Huh?
Okay, go ahead. I'm trying to think of her name, but go ahead.
Yeah, and so her mother is white, and she told the story to one of the talk show hosts. She told that story that when and her mother was white, her father was Black, and they'd had an affair. And her father was married, her mother was not. And so then she goes back to her white mother, goes back to her family. Her grandmother, her Black grandmother, raises her. So she says her white family to this day knows nothing about her. And so, and she does not, in that language, where she does not pass. And so she says that her white family knows nothing about her. Now, I fully suspect that after that aired a few months ago, that there were some white folks in New Orleans or around that going, I knew she looked like my Auntie Bertha. I knew she looked like I knew her. I knew those mannerisms were close. And so all to say that sometimes these coping mechanisms that we do are physical, right? It's like when you have, and I'm certainly not saying African American or African Americanness is a handicap, but when you have a handicap, if you have I have a knee issue, and so the doctor said, I said, well, it's my right knee. The doctor said, well, and I said, but my left knee is hurt. She said, so you in my words, she was saying you coping. Your left knee is taken up for your right knee because your right knee is a little weak right now. So we use these coping mechanisms to keep moving ahead. When the world is saying you are less than, you are a second-class citizen, when it's documented that your worth is 3/5 of a white person, then I think it is fair to say that we have used coping mechanisms for centuries, if not eons, and different people have used different coping mechanisms to do something. You may see a Jewish person who either denies or doesn't affirm their Jewishness, or you may see a Native American person who holds back on something, or you may see an atheist who, when it says it's time to pray, they may bow their head and pray. There are some coping mechanisms I think that we all do, and so just trying to give Admiral Chambers a little grace there. That's all.
No, Robin, you really good. Justifying behavior. He knows it was a lot easier to be white than being black. And
listen, I got bags under my eyes this morning, bro. I need some grace. You hear me? I need some grace this morning. You hear me?
Robin, let me tell you, I
got to give somebody else. I got to give somebody else.
I know you got to have to leave out early today, but I want to get sure you can get your time. But I'm gonna go back to that point that you made about your right leg and your left leg and all that kind of stuff.
Knee. Yeah, my knee.
I went to the doctor one time. Everything hurting on me. Everything. I touched my hand, it would hurt. I touched my leg, it would hurt. I touched my head, it would hurt. Doctor, Vernon, ain't nothing wrong with you. I said, what you mean? Everything I touched? He said, no, your fingers broke. That's why everything hurt when you touch.
You gotta look at the root of the problem, huh? Hey, good morning, homeboy.
Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
Jerry, we're talking about
You're right. So your point, Vernon, is and my point in response, you have to get back to the root of the problem. And the problem was not their color, their lightness, their degree of melanin in the skin. It's someone else's prejudice or biasness about that, their assumption about that. So this brother saving folks, and so he did a what's in accounting called a loss leader. He did a loss leader, right? He put the planes off to save this. And so we do things like that. You're a parent. You say, you know what? I don't care if I'm gonna shoot the dog because he's getting ready to attack my child. You do a loss leader. That's a horrible example. Horrible example. I watched the thing on pets. I watched the thing on Christy Nome the other day. So I'm still yesterday. So that's in my head.
The infamous dog killer.
I didn't mean that. I don't know. That was in my head. That's my apologies to the dogs.
But anyway, Jerry, before Robin get out of here, now let's go back and talk about the root of the problem. The root of the problem that we're talking about. We're talking about racism, and we're talking about colorism and everything, and we're talking about, and it's just as bad in the black community as in the racism. Colorism is just, in my opinion now, colorism is just as bad in the black community as is racism is in the general community. And let me tell you why. I know you heard of the expression called color struck, right? I know, yeah. And have y'all, you think that's the real thing? Color struck, something real?
Oh,
I think
listen. My favorite color is orange. You hear me? So, we all.
See, there you go. There she is.
Nothing to do with who's in the
She
White
talking
House.
about Robin. Don't be so politically correct now, okay? So you remind me of like white folks talking about when we talk about color. I don't see color.
Oh no.
You talking about when I said we color chart, you talking about my favorite color is orange. You know what I'm talking about.
And it has nothing to do with who's in the White House either. And so we're very clear on that. And but that I don't wear orange all the time. Matter of fact, I very rarely wear it. I think I may have an orange T-shirt.
What orange got to do with anything we're talking about?
Because it is we have a tendency to be drawn to something, and so just because you like something does not mean that you put it ahead of anybody else. And so there are people who are color struck, but again, the root is not being addressed. And so so we think it goes back in the last 150 years to this whole idea about at least in the South and people being enslaved, that the lighter skinned African Americans would be inside the house, and there's a colloquialism that is used.
You mean how nigga?
See, that's why I said I prayed before I came on here, Vernon.
It is. I mean, that's what they call it, right?
And so, as opposed to being in the field where the sun then is kissing your skin, and so and we have taken on that mantle. It doesn't mean that it started there, because as you said, in Indian cultures, there's this thing that people will say they're too dark. I'm gonna hold my hand up, and in some Indian cultures, that if you were this color here, then they would say that you are a dark person, you're a black person, and so. Or you are colored, as Trevor Noah always talks about in South Africa, that is a difference in being colored and black. And so, and it generally has to do with the color of your skin. And so I think it's again, going back to that root that we may have a favorite thing, but to say that my orange color that I like is any better than homeboy's blue or somebody else's green is asinine. I ain't gonna say the N word, but I can say asinine.
It do go back. It do go back to slavery, and it was designed that way to keep people separated, and we took on that in the early on. We took that to be a rites of passage at one time. There were times when different sororities and fraternities didn't allow dark-skinned people in. So then others began to create other alternatives to
the paper bag test. The Chesterfield Club, Chesterfield Club in New Orleans. You had to be lighter than a paper bag to enter into this this club.
So it's not as pervasive now as it was then. Came in the 60s. But the 60s brought a lot of change in ideas to that old standard of when we became Black and Proud. And one of the things that Minister Farrakhan always said, that we got to change the language of how we see and treat each other, and how we use language is how we treat each other. And so when he said if a person can get up and call his brother a nigger, then it's easy for him to kill a nigger because he don't see himself as his brother or sister. Right. So the language that we use, and people are saying, we're going to use this as a term of endurement. You can't, because of the indignity of that word that brought us to a point where we hated ourselves. You get up and look in the mirror, your skin is dark, you hate yourself because now you don't see a person. You see something else.
Internalized, it's called internalized depression. I had this conversation at the breakfast meeting yesterday. What's today? Thursday? Yeah, yesterday. And a white gentleman who was in the meeting and talking, about that. And so I did that again. And so it came to, he said, well, I said, the difference is a hard R. So when you use as a term of endearment amongst peers, then that difference generally is a hard R. So A versus a hard R. But even in the predominantly white community of all different ethnicities, what is the standard? What is the person, generally the woman, that is put on a pedestal? What color hair does she have?
Blonde.
What color eyes does she have?
Blue and
yeah, and so that is that standard that has been widely accepted as the goal. And so even in the white community, you see people dyeing their hair blonde. You see them, wearing the colored contact lenses to be either more accepted or highly accepted, highly favored. I think that it's that same thing in different communities.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Vernon.
No, you go ahead, Jerry. You have more you may have more insight. Go ahead.
When you was considered 3/5 of a human being, you were trying to become, you wanted to be in proximity to whiteness because it was a better atmosphere, a better, you might get something, you might not get lynched or so whiteness, what they call whiteness, this construct around white and black, which is nothing but a construct. But if you was in close proximity to whiteness, you were more apt to be accepted. And if you were much lighter, you were more likely to be accepted.
Remember that the golfer, he was an Indian brother, that he, I think he probably was around my color skin in terms of melanin. But there was this whole controversy about him when somebody mistook him, number one, for American, but number two, for Black American. And so he was, whoa.
He was incensed about it.
You can mistake me for American, but hey, let's draw the line. Let's draw the color line, as Booker T said. Let's draw the color line.
Because it's been propagated all over the world that Black people in America was, useless, nothing. Even though we were inventing everything at the time, we built this country on our back, blood, sweat, and tears. It was still propagated around the world that we was less than. We didn't do anything. And when it's like, when you see people in Great Britain, you're only going to see white people 99% of the time. But there are people in the the legislators over there who are Black. There are people who are mayors and what they call, in the parliament. Yeah, there's all kinds of people doing all kinds of things. But in France, the same thing. Yeah. But when you see the face of France and the face of Great Britain and the face of America, it's all white.
They're tutors, Black tutors, and that's what they were. That's what they were called to. And you can see them in pictures of the tutors from England. Yeah, that they were. Their pictures are there. There were more that were, of course, more well known than others. I have. Because of some inheritance from my sister, I have two photographs of them that they sort of cosplayed modern, but that's how I found out about them. I was like, this is incredible, absolutely incredible. And you're right. But when we project it, it's not. But I want to, because I'm going to have to step off here in a second. But I want to ask y'all about the controversy about which I think goes right to this color thing. Even in mythology. So there are people who are upset, and I have not seen the movie yet, the Odyssey, about Helen of Troy being played by the actor Lupita Nyong'o. Lupita Nyong'o. Yeah. So even in the ethos of mythology, that there is this controversy around it. It's not good enough. It's not enough that she's a great actor. An Oscar-winning actor, educated actor. That's not enough. That you have to have. Yeah,
they got the convert now. What about when Liz Taylor was playing Cleopatra and all that kind of stuff. It was an issue then. So why is it an issue now when black folks have to play? And this is not even real. This is, come on now.
Yeah, and even when Oscar Micheaux was doing it, he was the famed writer and director and producer. There was conversation, very challenging conversation about his use of fair-skinned African Americans in his, and he was like his was like, look, I'm trying to get everybody employed here, and he took in some regard he took that same stance of let's get them all, but the lighter skinned folks are going to be the good people, and the darker skinned folks, the lead people, the darker skinned folks are going to play the evil, the ones.
Let's benefit from racism. Yeah, I'm telling you, that issue came up.
That's right.
That issue came up when the Amos and Andy series came, and the NAACP after a while, NAACP took issue with that. But you remember Sapphire on Amos and Andy?
Yeah.
And but she made a great point. She said, I could play a maid for $25,000 a week, or I can be a maid for $25 a week. Now, which one do you think y'all do?
Yeah.
What you want me to do? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and I suspect that Harry Belafonte and what's the brother? Guess who's coming to dinner? Guess who's coming to dinner?
Cindy Poitier.
Cindy Poitier, who really got the pushback because of the roles that he played, and I would surmise that they took that same thing, and that some of that, regardless of skill, education, ability, wantingness, that some of that was you had to have some coping mechanism even to get into that. So I'm gonna exit stage left here. I'll watch y'all on the way to the meeting. But everything I said was true and funny. Just I'm gonna leave with that.
Okay, while you leave, listen. While you leave, go ahead and, so you don't miss your meeting. But the thing again, I said that if we can let's benefit from racism, if you will. Okay, I got a friend of mine at the flea market, right? And he got a successful stand at the flea market. And I asked him, I said, well, why don't you just sell some Trump paraphernalia? Because if you sell Trump paraphernalia, I know that these folks they're gonna buy this stuff from me. But he and like most black folks, they wouldn't dare sell Trump stuff because, number one, I told you we got an issue in our community where we got an issue with image and pride. Out of pride, he wouldn't do that. But I noticed, Jerry, and I know you noticed too, I could see that they could have Ku Klux Klans and Confederate flags in the background, and then black folks standing in line to buy from them. But we won't do it in reverse. They will benefit from us, but we won't benefit from them. Why is that, Jerry? What do you think about that?
Because we are not conscious of what we are looking at most of the time. You got to be very conscious, and when you're talking about buying something from somebody with flags around the Nazi signs and all that, you still buy. You are supporting their racism. Right. It's like restaurants that you go to. You're gonna go in there, eat, and argue with the people that says, I don't want you here. No, get up and leave, because you don't know what they might put in your food. Don't buy it. Get up and leave. Go where your money, where your person is respected as well as your money.
Exactly,
so no, I'm not eating anywhere where they say, okay, I don't want you here. Okay, cool. Here's other restaurants. If I go to a market somewhere and people got Nazi flags and stuff, they're telling me, I don't really want you here, but I take your money. But
I take your money, and then they spit in your food. I know. I see Derek. Is on. I know y'all want to talk about some stuff because I look like he's on the ride. I don't know whether he's just listening or he's gonna chime in. Good morning, Derek. How you doing this morning, man?
You're on mute, Derek. Okay.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay. We are driving back from Atlanta, Georgia. So we're in Montgomery. I got Jill with me.
Hey, Jill.
Hey, Jilly. Let's see Jill again. Let's see Jill. Are y'all driving?
Here, I'll give it to you.
You better get Jill that camera.
You got Jill
there
all
you go.
upside down.
Get Jill riding shotgun, and you trying to hold the camera and drive too. We ain't gonna be responsible for that. Okay.
Right.
Hey, Jill.
There you go. There you go.
All righty. Very good. Very good. Okay, Jill, go ahead.
Yeah. What y'all doing? And I know y'all went to speak to the Southern Poverty Law Center, right?
I'll let Jill handle that one. She got it.
Okay. So yes, we were at the Southern Poverty Law Center's fabulous event that they had conference this weekend. Or it wasn't even the weekend, it's during the week because we were just tired. And so I was on a panel. We got to experience and talk to a lot of organizers across the South. So not just Florida, but Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Louisiana. So it was very eye-opening. And we have information to bring back and maybe change some of the ways we say some things.
Yep.
And glad that we could join you this morning. If Derek has something, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I would say overall, just it allowed us to give a different outlook on how we talk about change and how we talk about building community and making a difference in the area, in Northwest Florida and in Pensacola, and just kind of reframing the conversation that we've been having to make it a little bit more inclusive. I think that's the best way to say it, and hopefully bring some folks out or get some people engaged who aren't necessarily people who want to be engaged. But yeah, it was a good few days.
So the organizers in other parts of the states, other states, what were their concept of what we needed to do? What is it? Changing the language or just changing how we approach individuals? Or was that the?
So I think that, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Derek, but the biggest thing, the last one that we went to, they said we need to stop telling everybody that this is the last. If you don't vote now, it's over, and like almost as if that's a threat, because people that have been doing this for 30 years, that's why they don't vote, is because we keep telling them this is the last one, this one's the most important, you got to go out, you got to do that. And they said we need to change it, because even if they go out, you're not going to change the system. So we keep telling them, they keep going, and the system doesn't change, so they get tired of going.
Yeah, so what do they recommend that we tell the people?
Let's be a part of building a community. And what does that look like? Starting from scratch. What I got from it, which I think was interesting, was voting is just one of the tools in our arsenal of things that we have to utilize. It's not the only tool. I think we approach it as it being like, okay, this is the tool that's going to make 100% of the difference. And it's, and looking at it from a building of community and building a world or a nation or a community, I guess, so to speak, that we want to be in, it's going to take more than just voting. That's a tool, and it's an important tool, but we got to invite people to be a part of building the community that they want to see. And, that starts with, of course, voting, but it doesn't start and end with voting,
Yeah, so voting becomes an apparatus to keep us moving forward. Yeah. Building the community is what changes life.
Yeah.
And your conditions.
I agree with that, but on the other hand, there's so many, if we don't vote for the right people, to help to make sure that what we build is taken care of. Voting is, I know it's not the panacea to everything, but it's it is the foundation of making sure that we have people in place that won't do what is being done now, and people are going to have to come to see that what we are seeing now is destructive to everything that we've fought for over the years, such as the dismantling of affirmative action and diversity, equity, inclusion, and education, and just a whole host of things. And last night, I was looking at Trump is cutting subsidies to the elderly who are on Medicare. So in 2027. So it's just a whole host of things that's being dismantled that you can't build a community unless you can separate yourself out from those kinds of individuals. And so it's going to need the voting first, I would say, to build so we will have that foundation to move forward with people who will protect the interests of the American people, not just the rich and powerful.
So I don't think they were never saying not to vote or not to tell people to vote. What they were saying is stop telling them this is the last, which word you used to use?
Yeah, this is the last election before.
Yeah, before we're going to,
this is it. We're
this
doomed.
is it. We're doomed. We've said that because remember, Derek is like, I know I said this before, but I mean it this time. He says it all the time. And when they said it, it was like an eye opener because when they're going into communities are going, you just said that last year. And you said that the year before. And you said that the year before. And nothing has changed. So they voted because we told them it was the last time. So they're not saying don't vote. They're telling them to vote, but your vote is a portion of it. Don't just vote and go home. Vote and get engaged. Vote and get involved. Vote and make the change. So it's vote and, it's not don't vote. It's just vote and. And then that gives them a reason to vote as opposed to vote and it's going to change and they don't see the change.
Yeah. And we've got to come up with programs and things that fill the and, like vote and do this. When we're talking about engaging in community building, what's the program looks like? Whether it's vote and, put together programs that allow people to attain housing, put together programs that allow food bank. There's an and to it. It's not just vote and then let the people who you vote for take care of everything. That's not, it's not how it worked. I don't know. It was a mind shift for me, like a little bit of a, oh, okay, I get it now. Like the example that they gave is they talked about people in Selma and how apathetic they are towards voting. They don't vote in Selma, and they she couldn't understand how the birthplace that gave us the birthplace of the Voting Rights Act has the least amount of engagement in terms of voting. They drive across the Edmund Pettus Bridge every day, but they're like, nah, we're good. We're not voting. We don't vote. And for a town that has the number of black people that live there, for them not to vote or have, they talked about the mayor who was the mayor
30 years.
Yeah, who was the mayor during Martin Luther King, during that time, stayed the mayor for forever.
Yeah.
The folks were like, nah, we're not doing that because we vote and nothing changes. And so they had to the part of programs to shift their mindset so they could first vote and get the man out of office. But then what happens next after that? And I think that's what do we do after that? So it's not enough. Our responsibility doesn't end with just the vote.
Well, Derek,
yeah,
I gotta, me, I'm gonna have to take issue with some of that. Okay. And let's take Selma, Alabama as a case in point, where they had the same mayor 30 years ago that when this stuff happened in Edmund Pettus Bridge, and he's still the mayor today, and black folks outnumbered white folks in that area. So why do we and things didn't change because people not voting. We got to tell people to vote. And I disagree with them on this point about if you don't vote, you may not have an opportunity, because you don't. If we don't vote this time, like we always do in the last election, I hear what they're saying, but we're not going to have nothing. We're not going to be able to vote. They're going to cancel your opportunity to vote. It's a privilege right now, but I mean, it's a right right now in a privilege, but you're not going to have that right and privilege if you don't go out, if we don't encourage folks and use scare tactics to make them go out and vote. You know, I hear what they're saying. I don't know whether I agree with it, you know, because
So
I
let's
think
put it
it's
like
important.
this. Let's put it like this. You tell people to vote like this is it, right? This is the most important election in your lifetime. Go vote. And then they vote. But they see no change
Because not enough folks voting. That's why we don't see the change. That's why we got to tell them to
But they don't
vote.
see that.
But they don't see that.
They can't see what everybody
Yeah.
else did not do. They did what you told them to do with nothing else left.
Right. So we've got to give them the tools to, okay, now that you voted, now what does building community look like? Your responsibility doesn't just end, and you don't get to just go in and vote and then things change because you voted. Like we all own the responsibility of building the community that we want to see. So it starts with voting. Nobody's saying not vote. Nobody's saying that you don't tell people the importance of voting. It's just you have to add something else to it. Your responsibility doesn't just end.
So what do they recommend? What they recommend? I'm going back to the example of Selma, Alabama. Okay, now people went and voted, but they still end up the same mayor. It's sometimes it looked like it's
no. They got rid of their mayor. They got rid of their mayor because they talked
After
to them
30
about
years.
building.
Yeah, because it took them that long to realize that keep telling them
yeah.
you got to do it, you got to do it, you got to do it. Didn't work.
Got to do it. They didn't do it. Right? They kept telling them to do it, and no, they didn't do it. But they gave them the opportunity of not only are you going to do this, but let's talk about what change in your community looks like. And I don't know what change in Selma looks like because I don't know what it was versus what it is, right? But what I will say is I'm assuming it's the first step was getting rid of the leadership that's impeding their progress. Now that they've gotten new leadership, now they can start doing things to bring change and build community that they want to see. Are they fully there? I'm sure I would venture to say probably not. But are they where they were? No.
All I can say, Jerry, is God, how many lanes do we need to that bridge to Hawaii?
No. That's not. It would be different if we were saying don't vote, which is not what we're saying. What we're saying is think about, and I think we always think of things about the people that are engaged. So like for us, we know it's how critical it is and why you have to vote. But if you go into the community that's not as engaged and you tell them again, after Derek has said the last 2 years, this is the most important election cycle, and you come again and they say to Derek, okay, so I voted the last 2 times and y'all got him in the office. So now
it's gotten worse. It ain't gotten better.
worse.
It hasn't gotten better.
We don't have any.
So what's the point?
Because we didn't set that next thing, which was, okay, get on this, whatever it is that you like to do. So let's say there's somebody who really has a passion for helping people. So how did we make it better? We are going to go ahead and start building community by making sure there's food banks and everybody knows when they are. We're going to make sure that we raise money so that we can help people pay their light bills, their water bills, a food place where they can go get clothing, whatever it might be. And that's just the bare minimum. What about the homeless people? So now we're going to maybe provide them tents. I don't do nothing in 118-degree weather, but at least it gives them some kind of shelter. There has to be more than this is the last election cycle, because if you're the voter, and you have to take this one voter at a time, not collectively. And I've heard it for the last 3 years. Jerry explained to me if I voted the last 3 times that Derek told me this is the last election cycle. We're one election cycle away from, what is the word you say?
In slavery.
In slavery, one election away.
Yeah.
So Jerry, I voted the last 3 years because Derek beat it in my head that I'm about to go into slavery. And I'm 2 seconds from slavery and I voted all 3 times. What are you going to do about it?
Well, you're right. The thing about it, though, I think one of the things that, going back to Selma just for a second, in Selma, at first it was, people were doing some great things, but then, what happened? The white businesses moved all their business outside of Selma, which crushed the economy of Selma at the time. But you're right. We're gonna have to find, as I was telling our members, and we got to find a new way of doing things. It's not, it's not just voting. Voting is not the panacea to everything, but it is the foundation of who we put in office. And then you have to make sure once people voted that the person they voted for is engaged with them as well, not just them. But and they should be engaged, but the person that's elected should come back to the community and inform people about why they are voting. Their voting will continue to help build the community of the world you're looking to build. But we cannot just sit back. I agree. We cannot sit back. The language has to be changed sometime to make sure that. I agree with that part of. We have to change the trajectory, I guess, of how we approach people with voting. Of course, we know that there's a possibility as people who are engaged, that it's a possibility that we will lose that right and privilege that we have to, have our issues addressed by people that we elect to office. But if we can't get those individuals elected, it's only going to crush us even more. And that's why it's important that I guess you're right. We have to find a new way of getting people out to the poll. So, I agree that, telling them that, and they see that nothing has changed, but it don't change unless, just to get somebody elected and expect them to do everything. It's not good either. So it's up to everybody to be engaged and be involved in this thing to make it a better place for our interests and for our children and for the world at large. So I don't know. I guess,
Jerry,
like
I agree.
Clothes in the air and everything. Go
I agree. I think the part of our problem in the Democratic Party is that we don't have a good message. We got a poor message that we're sending out. And I think that if we can get on to create a message that can resonate with the masses of people, we've been doing a poor job at that. And I think that's probably part of the problem is getting a common theme, a common message. You look at the other side. They all on one sheet of music. Okay. We got 500 sheets of music. So, and I think that's a part of it. That's part of the problem. I don't know, Jill. I know you might take a different approach with that, but I think what they're saying too, if what I'm reading from what I'm hearing from you guys, saying that we need to change the way we're addressing the problem, at least that is from a language point of view. Am I on target or am I off base, Jill?
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm saying, I think what I would say is that it wasn't a Democratic convening. So so it wasn't, this wasn't a conversation around messaging or what Democrats could do. In fact, it was quite the I won't say quite the opposite. It was people in the 501c3 and 501c4 spaces. Now I'm assuming, I would assume that they had shared similar values and interests, that would probably lean Democratic, but it wasn't a Democratic convening. So I won't say that you're off. I'm just saying that's not what they were saying in their conversation.
And these were all organizers, boots on the ground, organizations that are literally on the ground talking to people. Yeah. So much like we do, but to a whole larger scale. Like they're on the ground every single day, knocking doors every single day, talking to people every single day, Monday through Sunday. And they are getting the feedback, and people are tired of hearing that, yeah, this is the last election we know. So was it 5 years ago? I voted all 5 years and we're worse now.
Yeah.
If you have no response to that, it doesn't matter what the outlook looks like. If they vote here,
yeah,
you're not scaring me anymore. You're lying to me.
Yeah.
In their mind, and that's reality. Even though it is the truth. If we don't vote this time, it's tragic. However, because we've said it for so many years, and because they actually listened, some of them, and voted, and nothing's changed, and it's absolutely worse than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah. You know what?
Then you're not moving them.
And we've lost credibility.
Yeah, the credibility is gone. I mean, you could almost repeat it. You know how some people say the same thing? You can say, yeah, we know. It's the last election. It's critical that we vote. We know we're going to be enslaved.
Gosh, the world's coming to an end.
We're already enslaved. We're already coming to an end. They're already, down. Well, I mean, I don't think that ended well because we knew it was going to get worse. We knew Project 2025 was going to be executed. We didn't know it was going to be executed, but we knew. But to them, you said to them, the conversation was, if you vote, and I think that's what they were getting at. We are telling them that if you vote, this will stop. And that is not the truth. You can't just stop it. The system doesn't stop. Again, you have to attack programs. You got to set something up, but you have to vote. So it's not don't vote, it's vote and.
Vote and, yeah.
And whatever the and is going to be, but it has to be vote and.
I think the and for everybody is different. Whether if you're a person that's passionate about the unhoused community, then it's vote and let's work on putting programs together that address the needs until Congress or to your state legislature or to the city council or county commissioners do their part. Let's work in collaboration with those people that we put into office to make these things happen. It doesn't stop with just, okay, I voted for the person. Maybe they got in, maybe they didn't. I don't know.
Let me ask this question, Derek. I think I hear what they're saying. And I'm just going to use this as a good example of a bad example, okay? They're saying for us to vote, but we don't have a plan. They're just saying now vote, but let's have a plan to take our vote to make it work. Just like the Republican did, they voted, but they had a plan they called 2025, and people know what the plan was, so they had a reason to vote. So are they saying now that we should go ahead now, let's vote? But in addition to voting, but let's have a plan. And that might be.
I think that's a good way to put it. It is because what happens? So think about this: if I vote and none of the people that we want get in, that would be tragic. But just say that happens, then what? We still have to have the plan. Because otherwise they feel like their vote was wasted, and then you get to my vote didn't matter. So you have to give them a reason why it still matters. So we can hold them accountable. We can set up our own this and our own that, and we can do this. It's got to be the vote and the vote and this is the plan for each community. And I think that at least when you heard it, when you were sitting there, I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
It was literally like, oh, wow. Did she know what we say? Because we were right in the front. We were like,
oh, yeah. The one was that a duh moment? Duh.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, oh, wow, we never thought about that. But when they're on the ground, and there was like 7 of them, they all agreed. They're all in different areas, all in different states. And they were like, they hate when you say that because you're threatening them. And then nothing
changed. Yeah.
And so it gave us the opportunity.
And then y'all accused me of fence walking.
You say what?
That's
Fence
why.
walking.
They accused me of fence walking. That's why.
That had nothing to do with having a plan. That's different than having a plan. We are not saying don't vote.
I know.
Vote first and.
Yeah.
And everybody needs to figure out what their and is. And if we're not giving them a plan, they need to have a
Wait a minute, Jill. Don't we have, we should have a national and as opposed to an individual and, okay? Because every little grain of sand I throw in that ocean, it's going to take 1,000,000 years for me to fill up that ocean.
Yes,
but if I got a grander plan,
so your and needs to be your local and. You're building community locally, and the idea would be that the communities build upon community and then grows. But politics is local. You want to control Escambia County, Santa Rosa County, Okaloosa County, Walton County. You can't always.
I can't build with community.
I can't build community.
I can't have the same agenda with people in Oakland, California. Yeah. Our fight is different. Our struggle is different.
Not so even with Miami. It's completely different.
You don't want. I think the thing got about it. It's good not to have a central point of focus. You want to have a whole bunch of community network focuses, which all link together, but not here's one plan and then it goes out, you know.
I mean, they can top list what, you know, what's real. Everybody will say, you know, insurance and rent and healthcare and housing.
And
you can do that, but
shelter.
how you get to that is going to be different in every single area.
Yeah.
Especially those that have farmers that will buy in and those that don't. And then what do you have to do? Are we going to become sharecroppers? Possibly. You know, BJ's plan, remember, he's going to be the one growing all the stuff for us. You know what I mean? He's not wrong.
Jared sound like chicken coming on the roost. We've been singing that song all along, but go ahead. I think
but you know, that's what I was when I mentioned Minister Faircrown said we have to change the language in how we do things. I guess that's one of them. You know, how we look at the future, and meaning that I guess you got to hear what they're saying on the ground because they're on the ground every day. So how will it affect the people that you're trying to reach? And it's true that we beat that last election, or this will be the last great election to death, you know. But like they say, you know, it's vote and then it's a vote and hold the people that we voted for accountable as well, to come back to us to explain what the legislations is or what their plans are as well. What do you have for the community? How is policy is going to affect my way of life, I guess, and what I need to do to advance in the area in which I'm trying to advance in. So all politics, you know, a long time ago, I forgot the guy's name in Chicago. He said, but all politics is local. And so that means that we're going to have to build locally and have a local agenda, but also watch the national and have a national agenda as well, I guess, because the Democrat Party is more diverse than the Republican Party. They could the Republican can get on one page and spew their
venom,
but in the Democrat Party, you got black people, you got brown people, you got whites, you got Indians, you got all kinds of people. And if you have one message, how is that message going to affect everybody's interest in the party? I guess so. I can see, building local communities first, and then move on out and spread that out to the other communities as well. And hold people that we elect accountable to make sure they come back and tell us what's going on, because half of the time we don't know what is happening because we are not holy. And if we elect somebody black, we will hate to get rid of them because, I've been knowing them for years, but they're not doing anything for the interests of black people, but, padding their own pockets.
And that doesn't necessarily mean, and I can say this because I don't live where you all live. So that also does not necessarily mean that somebody else, that just because they're black, that they're the right candidate either. So it's holding everybody accountable, whether you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, you're in office or you're running, you're held accountable at every level, inside politics, inside your community, the pulpit, or wherever you are held accountable. What you say matters, how you move matters, and friendship is out the door when we're talking about what's best for the community.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I agree with y'all about that, for the common good. We got to hold people accountable. And that's a part of what this plan is about. We should vote and have a plan after we win the election, but we also should have a plan, a plan of accountability if we don't win the election, so we can still have power and to hold those folks accountable that we didn't get elected. And then also we should, as I say and think about it, we should have a plan of accountability either way. For the folks that do get elected, we need to have a plan to hold them accountable to make sure that they are doing what's in the best interest of the voters. And sometimes we can see that people get elected into office that don't always go to part of the line. For an example, what is that guy up in the big guy that wear the hoodies and stuff to Congress? What's his name? Fetterman, right? Fetterman. Okay, is a prime example of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And we got him elected, and he's not accountable to what the needs of the constituency is. And that is the problem that I see with a lot of politicians. Once they get in office, they vote their own conscience. They don't vote the conscience of the constituency. I think they ought to be required by law, if on any major issue, to have a poll of the constituency on any issue, and if that poll, the majority of the poll is the way they should vote, not be how they feel individually about any issue, but it should be representing the people. But they represent themselves. That's the plan I think that we need to put into place.
And the event that Derek and them just went to, it brought out, I'm sure, a lot of great ideas about what we need to do and moving forward, because they just talked about some of them. What we need to do was the plan after the end, after voting. But, to keep people engaged is one thing, but to have something for them tangible that they can see, like food and clothing, if they are homeless, housing, and if they in a house by the elderly, hot as it is, they need fans and stuff to keep cool. So that shows that the people are engaged and helping, and which will convince people at the same time to vote, because they see that there's somebody out there who cares. And the thing about it, as long as they don't see that, as long as they're, as Jill said, their issues are the same, even though they voted, and even though we know that we are one election away from losing our rights in this country, because there are people that they are elected or want birthright to end, and that means that we will no longer be citizens. So we have to make sure we engage. Go ahead, Jill.
So you said it. So I'm going to ask the question that if I was not engaged, which election is that? Is the election in November the one that we're one election away? Is it the election in 2027, or is it the election in 2028? Since you just said we're one election away from losing everything.
Well, with the way the things are running right now, I would say 2028.
Right. So then we're not one election away. So we're not even telling the truth, because 2028 is 2 elections away.
Right, because we got that's the.
So we can't say we're 2 elections away because we're gonna sound crazy.
I've been saying we 2 elections away from enslavement. Now I'm like, oh, no, this time is this
But
one.
you see how we're just with even in our conversation that we're having, it seems like Trump and his "I'm gonna be elected the 4th time." They're like, you all sound just like him. 3 times, 4 times, what is it?
What is it? Right. Yeah. Like we came back. Like one of the things I walked away with, which in learning, is there's a way that we can help our Black and brown folks who are being targeted by ICE in Northwest Florida. There's a whole system that the state of Florida has that I had never heard of that they're using all throughout the state of Florida. I'm like, I wonder if they know that up here. Like, I didn't know that. Where does this come? How do we get in contact? And they talked about the documents that they put in place for folks who are being, if you find yourself being, picked up by ICE, what happens, what you need to do. I mean, I know we know what happens, but for folks who have family or who have businesses and who have been picked up, what do they do? What happens to those people? What happens to their family, their loved ones? What happens to their business? And there's a whole thing that I don't think we do in Northwest Florida, or maybe they do.
They do. We don't know.
If they do, we don't know about it. But I was like, wow, that's interesting. Let me go to somebody. Let's bring this resource
what are
back
y'all talking about? Wait a minute. What are they talking about? ICE and Trump do what in the hell they want to do. Okay? It ain't no.
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 Help me understand what you're talking about.
To prepare. Okay, so to prepare. So what I think I said to Anna, I make that your life plan. So but specifically immigrants that are targeted right now, it gives them a full plan of what to do. So if I'm gone tomorrow,
for those that are left behind.
Right. Well, if I'm gone tomorrow, I have my power of attorney left for whoever's going to take care of my kids. I have my power of attorney for whoever's going to take care of my business. I have doctor's information and passwords and all of that. They set that up for them so that at least if 1, 2, or 3 of you are gone, the rest of the family can take care of your loved ones until you come back. That's something that's critical, because imagine just in our life, if you're gone in a half a moment, does everybody know where the passwords are? Do they know the bank accounts? Do they know what bills need to be paid? Do they know where your life insurance is? Do you have life insurance? Do they know what doctors you needed to see? Do they know all of that? So we just found out that they have a program, and it's in the Panhandle, but we don't know if we're aware of it, that will help them get in order for a terrible, awful situation, but it is now life. The terrible, awful situation is true life right now. So why not give them these benefits? They're free, and make sure that they feel at least that, God forbid that it happens, they're prepared to take care of the rest of the family.
And then there's also a thing where, if you see ICE raids that are happening and someone's being affected, someone's pulled over, you can call the 1-800 number and they'll deploy a team out there for, I guess the best word is observation and oversight. That includes attorneys, that includes field folks. Like, I didn't know that existed. We've seen ICE raids several times in Northwest Florida. I didn't know there was a number you could call and somebody would come in. There's not a rapid response team. I didn't know that existed, and so I'm like, I wonder if other people know that and what that entails and what that looks like for us, and then how to get other people trained, how to get other attorneys. They can walk them through what that training process looks, if there are folks that want to engage in that, if this is something that's important to you, what that looks like and how to get involved and engage. It's stuff like that. That's what I talk about, like building the community. I found that to be incredibly interesting. And then to the point, like even outside of, like Jill said, we talked about it in the instance of Black and brown folks who are being swept up in ICE, but emergency planning or estate planning is something that everybody could do. That's something that everybody benefits from. Particularly Black folks in our area, we don't do enough of that. We don't. Your mama and your big mama don't have a will, so then you got to worry about probate. Then you got to go through the courts trying to figure that stuff out. Who's gonna get the house? What happens to that? How to put your names on deeds already, like 2 ladybird deeds, for folks, so that it makes the process of a property transition easier. The powers of attorney, so that you don't have to fight through the courts to have access to bank accounts in the untimely, in the unexpected passing of someone's departure. It's that type of stuff that that's when I talk about like building community. That's something that we can all benefit from.
Okay. So Derek, did they give you any names or any people you could contact?
We have, she gave us the link, and then what she asked is if we could connect her to different organizations that are willing to help with this, because they come in and they'll train via Zoom. They'll come in and train. There's just, again, this was all about community. Starts with understanding what the community needs, and then once you understand what the community needs, is bringing in those partners. And so a lot of this was, we do so much kind of together, but next to, almost in a silo, but we don't do it all together. And so if you're building it all together and you're in that same orbit, then you can bring all those talents together and give them to the community and start building community, instead of saying, Panhandle Coalition does this, and Movement for Change does this, and the NAACP does this, and the Democrats do this, and Divine Nine does this. But here is the big picture, and how can we utilize our services and better build our community, instead of just saying, oh, I only do this, or I can't work with you, or whatever the case might be.
Right.
We have to change the way if we want things to be different, then you have to change the way you approach it. But you don't have to change your mission. You don't have to change your identity. You just have to change how you connect.
Yeah. Like we all, something that we all are affected by is in the state of Florida and in our community is the SAVE Act. And we've been talking to people about having to get their birth certificates and having to get passports. We now have a group that we've established a relationship with, that now has funding to help people pay to getting their birth certificates done. So it's not an extra expense on folks. For folks who are born at home or who have incomplete information on their birth certificates, we don't know what to do. Someone asked me, I don't know what, I was born at home, or I don't have the right information on my birth certificate. What do I need to do? I don't have a clue. I don't even know how to help you on that. But I now have the organization that does, or now that organization can come in and train us on what to do. And so now we have the ability to do it. There's things that are, outside of our areas of expertise that we have to understand and admit to, but now we have the resources to do it. And I think that was when we talk again about building community, it's being able to do the things that can help everybody, and not just be like, when you don't know or you can't help, you're like, no, I don't know. The need's still there, but we can't address it. Now we're getting to the point where we can start addressing things. I think that's where it is.
And giving more resources.
Yeah, more resources.
Yeah, we're building our toolkit.
Yep.
With all of these resources so that we can help all different people. But some of the things like the life plan works not just for immigrants, Black people, brown people, white people. Like, there's things that we can then all be more prepared and work better together. And now we're building the community. And now when you say, hey, go vote, they say, yes, I like the community I'm in. It's not so segregated, separated. Doesn't mean that we're going to give them these tools and all of a sudden, everybody's going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. That's not what we're saying. But if you don't build community, then you're asking them to buy into something that is already failing because the system's failing.
Right.
Well, Yeah, and the thing about it, I'm glad y'all went to, because you can always get new ideas from other places and other people to engage with you, because that is so important. And you know, this is good, because just like you say about the the passports and all of that, and helping people, and birth certificates. So
Birth certificates, not passports.
Not passports.
We haven't found an
birth certificate.
organization
Just birth
yet that will
certificate.
do the pay for the passports yet, but
okay, but
grant.
yeah, to help people to do that research and to get what they need to get their birth certificate. That's important, especially with this SAVE Act. And it's not going to just stop here in the state of Florida. Other states going to copy it, like other places too, because they're trying to suppress the vote all over the country. But hopefully, what y'all have found out is going to help tremendously to get people what they need as far as their, information on their birth certificate, and to help them to get it so it don't become such a burden.
Yeah, but I think all of this is good to follow up, which is leads us to the thing, that we are able to have these type of important conversations. And we want to make sure we invite everybody out this Saturday to the Equal Ground 2026 legislative session debrief. And that's this Saturday. The doors open at 8:30 a.m. at Hearst Chapel AME, which is located at 707 Pensacola. So if you're in Escambia County, Santa Rosa County, Okaloosa County, Walton County, Bay County, wherever you hear us, come out and join us. It's a great opportunity to hear from Equal Ground. Their portion of the event starts at 10 a.m. Again, doors open at 8:30 a.m. We'll have breakfast, which is free. This is a free event. We'll have free good hot breakfast, and we'll go into the Equal Ground presentation, which talks a lot about what happened in the legislative session in Tallahassee, plus the additional 6 special sessions that the governor called this year. So we'll walk through that. Then we'll break for lunch. And then after lunch, we'll get together and talk about building community and how and getting ready for elections. And the candidates will be there. You'll get an opportunity to meet some of the candidates if you have not met them. Gubernatorial candidate Dana Marie Foster, who is running for to be governor in the state of Florida, is expected to be there. So this is an opportunity to come out. And hopefully we'll be done by 2:45, I think?
By 3 at the latest.
By 3 at the latest.
3 o'clock at the latest.
Hey, Derek.
Yes.
I got a viewer and a listener and a viewer in Dallas, Texas. Wanted to know what about voting by mail? That was a question. I'm not specific as to what they meant about that, but the question said, what about voting by mail that y'all learned?
Oh, well, they didn't cover vote by mail. Yeah, again, it wasn't necessarily a democratic convening. It was more of a community and talking about that. But what I will tell you is that we're still voting by mail. And I would encourage everybody to, if you have not yet enrolled in vote by mail.
And you still can.
And you still can. You have up until, in order to get for the August election, you have up until August the 6th.
Yes, in Florida.
In Florida. Yeah, you have up until August 6th to request a vote by mail ballot. I'm not sure what Texas law is, or I would assume they've already voted, right? Because they did their primaries already. So I don't know what Texas has.
Still get your vote by mail.
Yeah, but still
November.
Well, yeah, you can get your vote by mail ballot for November according to whatever Texas laws and guidelines there are. But certainly for the state of Florida, you have up until August the 6th to request a vote by mail ballot in time to vote in the August election.
Okay. All right. What about y'all probably missed? Huh?
I was just going to add that they spent a lot of their time on early voting, but that was because they had groups that specialize in souls to the polls and that kind of stuff. Yeah. So they didn't talk about vote by mail, not because it wasn't important, but in organizing, you organize through actually to move individually to a place. And so that their focus was on either early voting, and then engaging the community.
Now, not all states, not all states have early voting, do they? We just one of the few states in the country that got early voting. You think?
Well, in the southern states that they were talking about, they must have it because they all talked about it.
So I think like where they were, so Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, they do. Well, maybe they do typically, Louisiana canceled their elections. I don't know what they got going on, but,
and they brought that up too. Yeah. That was an important point that don't believe that they can't do.
Yeah. Talked about nothing in the Constitution that protects us because they talked about Louisiana. They were in the process of elections. They had elections. People had already cast their ballots, and then what did they do? They ended up canceling the election.
And the Supreme Court upheld it.
The Supreme Court upheld it. The decision to do so. So we should not be under the assumption. We should not be under the assumption that we'll be able to vote because constitutionally we're supposed to have an election, so therefore we'll have an election.
And that came up when they were talking about, would the person in the White House run for his third, fourth, fifth term, depending on how many numbers he adds to it. Yeah. So I think somebody in the audience said, "Oh, well, they can't do that," and that's when that came up. Don't say what they can't do.
Yeah.
Well, again, that's what gives people reason not to vote because they feel like they feel like their vote is not going to count. And I think the rhetoric is right now is the fact that, well, even if I vote in this election in November, Trump probably can try to cancel it. And particularly, he's trying to do that with that SAVE Act. They want to be able to cancel those votes if it don't come out in their favor.
Right, and that's why he's pushing so hard. He wouldn't even sign the housing bill that both Republican and Democrats put together, even though it sat on his desk for so many days it had to go through. But he was going, he refused to sign the bill, even though it could it was easily overridden if he had a veto. But the thing about it, you're right. They can cancel elections, and we saw that happen. And in Louisiana, that's crazy.
But the difference would be is that if you don't vote, then we have no recourse. Exactly. Even if it gets thrown out or whatever, we have no recourse if you don't vote. But if you vote and they do that, we can go into the courts and do what we have to do. So I think that it's never that voting isn't important because it's extremely important. It's just giving them those ands and the whys. So why do you need to vote? Here's all the reason why. But I don't need to threaten you because if you haven't seen it in the life that you're living right now, yes, you're absolutely right. It's worse. Do you realize that it can get worse than it actually is right now? And the only way to stop that is to vote and build your community so you can self-sustain.
And it's getting worse by the day when you think about it. I was looking at where they Trump them cut the subsidies for the elderly who are or you don't even have to be the elderly if they cut them subsidies for prescription drugs. That's gonna make it worse for other people that's living here in this country. Especially the elderly who sometimes can't afford, even with the subsidy, get their prescriptions because you got to pay that deductible sometimes.
Yeah. So we got it, but we gonna make sure we're prepared in our area and do what we can. So we invite you to come out, Mr. McIntosh. If you want to join us, we're about to head to Hearst Chapel to set up. We'll be there by 10:30.
So we'll see you at 10:30 at Hearst Chapel today.
Yeah, y'all had a bad
So
day.
what's happening? What's happening at Hearst Chapel today?
We're setting it up
We're
For
just going to go
Saturday.
set up.
for
They set
Saturday.
up for Saturday.
I'm sure you can squeeze an hour out, Jerry, for us.
I'm gonna try.
I'm sure you
gonna
can. I need you to.
try. I'm gonna try.
Remember, we just drove all this way just to come here to set up, and
No,
then I still got to drive home. So we need you to come. It won't be an hour, 2 hours max.
I'll try. I'll try to. I'm gonna
10:30.
make it. I ain't gonna make it at 10:30. I got an appointment, but I'll be there about 11:15 or something like that.
Okay, perfect.
All right. So make sure you guys come out on Saturday and join us. It's free at Hearst Chapel at 707 North C Street, 8:30 a.m. Program starts at 10 a.m.
Free breakfast, free lunch, free information, great time together. And I promise you it'll be information that you will need and you will be able to apply. We will see you there.
How did things go with Angie?
You tell me.
Yeah, you were there.
You were there. We ended up leaving.
The one in Okaloosa went well once she got there. She was quite late because of the flight and all of that, but she did spend about 20 minutes before she ran over to Pensacola, and it went well. People were excited. It was a nice mixed group in the room, young, old, black, white, Hispanic, etc. I think she did really answered some hard planted questions, and then she went over to Pensacola, and then we left. So you'll have to tell us how it went.
I think it went quite good. She did make Channel 3 News. Did you see that piece on it, Jerry?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was over in Santa Rosa. They came out for her event over at Pedro's in Gulf Breeze yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is good.
And before we go, Vernon, of course, I'm gonna have to run. I got an appointment.
Yeah.
But
me too.
The Saturday the 29th, we're gonna have a fish fry and some hot dogs and all that for getting people out the boat and for the children. It's right now it's not costing anything, but we'll see.
Okay.
This Saturday you're doing that?
No, not this Saturday, the 29th of August. The full Saturday.
I was like,
no
what?
Way. Yeah, that's
right.
29th of August. All right, then.
All right, we're gonna sign
before
off.
Before you go, Jill. We had Angie scheduled Wednesday,
Yes.
I believe. She rescheduled for tomorrow, so she should be on here tomorrow at 8:00. So if you want to join us, you can.
Okay.
You there, but we scheduled to interview her at 8 a.m. Tomorrow morning.
Okay.
You replacing you had Child Thorn on tomorrow. Oh, that's right. Tomorrow, Friday.
No, Charles Day is Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
It would have been a good day to have it on with Charles. But no, it's on tomorrow. Okay.
All right.
All right. See you guys later.
All right.
Okay.
Y'all
Take care,
y'all
everybody.
drive safe, okay?
All right.
All right.
All right,
you.
Jerry. I know you got to get out of here, and I got to get out of here as well. Cause we're a little bit over time, but Jerry, we'll see you probably this weekend, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and if you want to join in the conversation tomorrow with Angie, you most certainly welcome to do that, okay?
Yeah, I might just do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I got some appointments tomorrow too, but I'll do that.
Yeah, she should be on about 8. If she's a busy lady, as long as the schedule don't change anything like that. All right.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Okay,
All right.
Jerry. Thank you, y'all. Y'all, I got to get out of here too. We're a little bit running over time this morning, but that's okay. All of this stuff, in my opinion, is worth it. All right. But I'll see you again tomorrow. Just want to remind you again, tomorrow is Friday. We will have Angie on as our special guest. Sheriff coming on at 8:30. Got some questions for the sheriff about, some of the events that went on in law enforcement. And so, but stay tuned. We'll see you tomorrow. Love you with a perfect love, as Omar would say, and blues sound would say, and what the blues sound would say, you, the only one that love. See you tomorrow.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday